Did you miss us? Good morning. Weather or not meteorologist Evan Hatter with a check of your forecast here on this Thursday morning. Brought to you by the storm damage specialists at On Target. If you had any issues last night, that number right there, 270-693-3600, that will be your ticket to getting things fixed and in a hurry. If you did have any damage last night, hopefully everything turned out all right for you, but it continues to be a very active weather pattern as we work through the remainder of today, tomorrow, and into Saturday. As a matter of fact, here's a look at the radar this morning. You see we've got scattered showers continuing into portions of Barron County, Allen County, Simpson County, Logan County, into Butler County this morning, southern parts of Warren County getting a bit of a break for our friends in Brownsville. But look off to the east. Where those storms put on the brakes, they are still severe. Tornado warnings continue out toward Wayne County and Pulaski County, out toward Lake Cumberland this morning. Thankfully, we were able to finally get those out of here about 2:30 in the morning, and we were able to hopefully get a little bit of sleep out there as we went through the morning hours. I know a lot of us, we were burning the midnight oil last night and still burning early morning oil this morning as we turn the clock over to 6 a.m. It is continuing to be rather soggy through the region. Sexton Bin Builder Skycam this morning, you see some of the rain falling on the camera. This morning, though, all is mostly quiet when it comes to the potential for the heaviest of the rain. View from our D93 Skycam. Downtown Bowling Green, you see some of the lower clouds being lit up by the city lights this morning. The good news is no severe weather is currently working in the region, though I cannot guarantee that it stays that way all day, though the trends are that anything we see would not be nearly as impactful or severe as what we saw last night that moved through the region. Temperatures this morning remain on the mild side. We're all in the low to mid 60s out there this morning. That cold front put on the brakes just to our east. We really started to get those gusty winds out of here, but we also continue the very heavy rain. These are rainfall totals for the last 24 hours. About an inch to an inch and a third here in Warren County, about an inch and a quarter over on the Warren-Barron County line. But look at some of these other totals. Nearly 2 inches in Franklin and in Russellville, over 2 inches in Morgantown, and nearly 2.5 inches in the last 24 hours into Scottsville. So we are just at the beginning of what could be several days where we pile up several inches of rain on top of each other, and that could very much give us that potential for continued rounds of heavy rain. There's our frontal boundary this morning. It kind of worked further to the east this morning and kind of put on the brakes, so we are stuck, essentially. Over the next few days, we are going to be stuck in this weather pattern. So there you see the High-Res NAM did a pretty good job this morning with the potential there for where those storms kind of set up, and we will still be watching that as we head through the day today. Notice it's scattered through the day. It doesn't completely rain heavy at all times, but that boundary is just going to sit there and wobble, no pun intended, and that's where we watch for the heaviest position of the rainfall as we work through this morning. Perhaps a break later this evening. That frontal boundary kind of shifts off to the north. We get some more lighter rain, a few more scattered showers into our Friday. We may actually dry out for a little bit into our Friday. But then as we head into our Saturday, we get another wave in here. That kind of stalls before we finally get a low pressure to hitch its ride to this frontal boundary that will have been stuck over the area for about 3 or 4 days at this point. And we finally, as we switch over to the regular NAM, finally start to get this out of here as we head into the day on Saturday. Finally, we get that low pressure that pushes through. We get one final push of the heaviest rain late Saturday into early Sunday. That could come with some strong storms. In fact, strong storms are possible every afternoon today, tomorrow, and Saturday. The difference being the ingredients are not nearly as ripe over our area for the widespread major severe weather that they were out to the west yesterday. So this is more of looking like maybe your summer-type pulse storms where it's mostly brief gusty winds, the very heavy rain, maybe some hail, a brief spin-up tornado, unlike what they saw out to the west last night. But then finally, as we head towards Sunday, that pushes east. We scour the moisture out of here, and we're finally on to a quieter pattern as we work into next week. But again, level 2, slight risk for severe weather in place today. With, again, long track tornado threat is rather low today. They would be the quick kind of skipping tornadoes, the typical tornadoes that we would see in our region. But again, that's not a very high threat either way. Yesterday, our tornado threat was 10 to 15%. Today, it's 2 to 5. So the likelihood there is very smaller chances for tornadoes. And if they do occur, they would be much smaller. Either way, I'm not expecting a huge issue, but don't be surprised if we have to hop on for warnings again as we head into the afternoon. Mainly gusty winds, the potential for these, the 15% slight risk, and the hail as well would be the primary threats if we do see any storms. Again, tomorrow, that front wobbles back to the west, and we're in the level 1 marginal risk for severe weather for our Friday. Large hail and gusty winds, the typical. Even Saturday, we're back in the level 2 slight risk for severe weather. Some if you've heard this before. But finally, it looks like that low pressure will kick this thing on out of here, and we'll start to get those things at least somewhat quieter as we head into our day on Saturday, at least into our day on Sunday. Large hail, gusty winds, main threats again. Higher threat looks to be to the south, where I believe they have a level 3 enhanced risk already in place across parts of the deep south, where they do not need any more severe weather. It looks like the focus for severe weather over the next several days is going to be to our friends back in Arkansas, and they do not need to see any severe weather. Just looking at the video of some of the tornadoes they had out there yesterday, that was quite a bit of heavy rain and a big tornado. I still think overall the big calling card is going to be the flood threat. Again, we're going to get these storms that just sit over the same areas for days on end, especially as we head into today and Saturday. Some tomorrow, but it looks like that threat's going to be a little bit lower. Widespread river flooding remains possible. We're talking 6 to 8, perhaps up to 10 inches of rain, especially across the Green River Basin. Forecast to go into major flood stage, I believe. The Green River at Woodbury, there in Butler County, and the same thing with the Rochester Dam. Widespread river flooding, and again, that is potentially life-threatening, especially when you're dealing with flash flooding and water covering the roadways, because you never know just how much water is flowing there just by looking at it. So, turn around, don't drown is what we always say. We're in a level 3 out of 4 moderate risk for excessive rainfall today. Again tomorrow, level 4 out of 4, high risk to the west on Friday. This is excessive rainfall, remember. The Weather Prediction Center releases similar numbers to what the Storm Prediction Center does for severe weather, but for heavy rain. And as we head into Saturday, we get a break, and then Sunday, that potential again. Actually, I think the dates are wrong on this. I mean, that wouldn't shock me. Yeah, 4-3 to 4-3. That's the morning hours. That's the morning hours again. That is today. So the one on the left here, folks at the Weather Service have done a bang-up job yesterday, but they are, this is the one for this morning. This is the one for the rest of today, the level 4. Then this is actually Friday. This is actually Saturday. And then this is actually Sunday. Maybe I've got my dates wrong. I don't think so. Valid time 4-5 to 4-6. That would be Saturday. That would be Friday. Either way, heavy rain, a possibility. Major flooding possible. In fact, it looks like the current forecast for the Green River at Woodbury has it cresting in major flood stage, potentially there. And the Green River at Rochester at moderate flood stage. Same thing in Bowling Green. So it's still active the next few days. We just turned down the tornado threat a little bit. Crystal saying it's flooded over the road in front of the high school. Is there a school? I would check with your school district, whether that be in Bowling Green, whether that be Warren County schools or Bowling Green City schools. Check with your school district on that. We do not make those calls out there. We can only advise. Next 6-day weather forecast. It's a sight for sore eyes at the bottom of the forecast, but we got to get through a few more days of rain first. Upper 60s to near 70 for Thursday. We bring that boundary back north, and as the showers work through, Friday, Saturday, back in the 80s. Gusty winds, not so much, but again, any one of those storms could produce some damaging winds and hail. Showers work out during the day on Sunday. We're cooler. Look at that, 64 Sunday, 59 a high Monday, and as we clear out behind this front, high pressure builds in. We're back in the 30s. We're going to have to watch the frost and freeze potential as we head towards the middle of next week. A high barely getting out of the 40s by Tuesday. But you know what? I will take it after such an active pattern working on through. That should do it for me this morning. Whether or not Bowling Green meteorologist Evan Hatter with a check of your forecast this morning. Obviously, more warnings issued this evening. We'll hop back on if we need to. But the tornado threat, much lower than yesterday. We'll still watch it, though. Brought to you, as always, by On Target. Have a great day, everybody out there. Hopefully you got some sleep. Make sure to stay safe out there.